At the height of the Cold War, space stopped being just science. It became a battlefield, not with weapons, but with technology, ideas, and influence. The Soviet Union made the first move. In 1957, it launched the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, a small metal sphere just 58 centimeters wide. But it changed everything. For the first time in history, something built by humans was orbiting the Earth. And the most important part, people could hear it. A simple signal. Beep, beep, beep. Radio operators around the world picked it up, and that sound became a symbol that the USSR was ahead. Behind that success was a man few people knew at the time, Sergei Korolev, the chief designer of the Soviet space program. His name was kept secret. The country knew the astronauts, but not the man who made their flights possible. In 1961, the Soviet Union made another historic move. The first human spaceflight. Yuri Gagarin, the spacecraft Vostok 1. The flight lasted just 108 minutes, but that was enough to change history forever. His famous words, "Let's go," became one of the most recognizable phrases in the world. Once again, the USSR was first, but behind that moment was real risk. The systems were far from perfect. Gagarin had limited control over the spacecraft, and even the landing didn't go exactly as planned. He touched down far from the intended location, but details like that weren't widely discussed because the result was what mattered. The Soviet Union was leading. In 1963, another milestone, the first woman in space. Valentina Tereshkova. She wasn't a professional pilot. She worked in a textile factory and was an amateur parachutist. Her flight wasn't just about science, it was also about ideology. A demonstration that, in the Soviet system, even space was open to everyone. But the mission itself was difficult. There were issues with orientation. Her physical condition worsened during the flight. And once again, it showed the reality of early space travel. This wasn't comfort. It was survival. Then came one of the most dangerous milestones, 1965, the first spacewalk in history. Alexei Leonov. He spent just a few minutes outside the spacecraft, but those minutes almost ended in disaster. His suit inflated in the vacuum of space. It became too rigid. He couldn't fit back into the airlock. At that moment, he made a decision. He manually reduced the pressure inside his suit, risking his life. Only then was he able to return inside. It wasn't a movie scene. It was real. And this is how the space program moved forward. Right on the edge, every step was a risk. And behind every mission stood thousands of people, engineers, designers, test specialists. After Korolev's death, others continued the work. One of them was Valentin Glushko, a key figure in rocket engine development. People like him kept pushing the program forward, but the system itself was under constant pressure. Mistakes happened. Accidents happened, some of them with fatal consequences. But the race didn't stop until 1969, when the United States landed on the moon. And at that point, the leadership shifted. The Soviet lunar program never fully succeeded. But that wasn't the end. The USSR changed its strategy. Instead of the moon, it focused on orbital stations, Salyut, and later Mir, long-duration missions, months in space. And in this area, the Soviet Union once again took the lead. Soviet space exploration wasn't just about being first. It was about people who stepped into the unknown, engineers who worked in secrecy, and a system that delivered incredible results while demanding a very high price. And maybe the real question is this: what was it really about? Scientific progress? Or proving to the world who was ahead?